While March Madness is approaching, the NBA isn't short on any headlines. With a little less than 2 months until the playoffs kick off, we will start to see who will emerge as contenders, pretenders, and who is set to win the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. As we approach the end of the season, here are a few storylines to watch as we hit the home stretch. A few weeks have passed since the trade of the century went down, and the Lakers are already reaping the benefits. The team is playing with a different kind of flair. LeBron is putting up MVP numbers at 40, and they've been consistently knocking off playoff caliber teams. Their recent victory against the Denver Nuggets could be a huge indication of just how far this team can take it. Prior to this game, the Lakers were 1-13 in their last 14 matchups against the Nuggets and hadn't won in the Mile High City since April of 2022. All of this has happened without Luka playing his typical brand of basketball. While he's been decent, it's clear he hasn't found his full footing yet. Once he has completely adapted to JJ's system and has had more time to gel with his teammates, the Lakers will be a tough squad to knock for anybody. LA is currently sitting close to the top of the Western Conference standings, but also has one of the hardest strength of schedules moving forward. These next few weeks will be an indicator of just how legit this team is. For the Mavs, it's simple. Can they stay healthy? Since February 10th, Dallas hasn't seen Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, or Derek Lively on the court. Not to mention, PJ Washington has been dealing with an ankle injury, causing him to be in and out of lineups. Despite these setbacks, the Mavericks still find themselves in the middle of a play-in spot. But can they keep this up? Depth is one of the most important factors of any team, and the Mavs need all they can get. The good news is reports have stated that Davis, Lively, and Gafford are all trending in the right direction. If Dallas can get these pieces back, they will become a squad that no team wants to face. While they did lose their franchise superstar in Luka Doncic, there won't be any lack of motivation for these guys to win a title. Kyrie wants to show he can be the leader on a championship team. Clay wants to prove Golden State was wrong in letting him walk, and all that AD has been hearing since the trade occurred is how awful he is compared to Doncic. If this team is able to become healthy when the playoffs arrive, they will be a real threat to make it back to the finals. Ever since acquiring Butler, the Warriors have been on fire and looked the part of title contenders. The energy is different, the chemistry is different, and the newly established Big Three seem to gel wonderfully together. Jimmy looks the happiest he's been in years and has been thriving in his new role as a second option on both sides of the ball. Defensively, he's forcing turnovers and his presence alone helps take the workload off Draymond's shoulders. Offensively, his ability to get to the paint has forced defenses to collapse. As a result, the team is getting to the line more and the increased spacing has created more open shots for their shooters. Speaking of shooters, Steph has seemed to reverse time as just the other night he exploded for 56 points and 12 threes against the Magic. His game seems to be rejuvenated, and he looks like he's enjoying basketball again. With everyone in the trio being 35 and older, the team's title window is slim. The players recognize this, and you can sense the urgency through their play. Additionally, Jonathan Kuminga is expected to return to the lineup after suffering an ankle injury back in January. Before this, he was averaging a career high in all 5 major statistical categories. With Kuminga expected back in the lineup and Golden State peaking at the right time, only time will tell just how far this team can take it. So far, it seems acquiring Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby has worked wonders for the Knicks, but is it enough? Sitting at a 40-20 record, New York is positioned as the 3rd seed in the East. While their record suggests they are among the NBA's elite, they are 0-7 against the Celtics, Cavs, and Thunder, all of which are teams they'll most likely have to face if they want to win the title. The Knicks still have an opportunity to grab a win against one of these foes as they play both Cleveland and Boston in early April. These 2 games could prove to be pivotal in terms of momentum while heading into the playoffs. Add in the fact that the Pacers and Bucks lurk only a few games behind, and these matchups should show us what New York is truly made of. In one of the most surprising instances of a turnaround we've ever seen are the Detroit Pistons. Last year, this team had an abysmal 14 wins and tied the NBA record for most consecutive losses ever. Being considered one of the worst teams in league history, improvement was expected, but Detroit has redefined what it means to bounce back. Through new head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, the Pistons are playing a brand of basketball that you can't help but enjoy. Cade Cunningham is emerging as a legit superstar, and the recent draft picks in Asar Thompson and Jalen Duren look to be the real deal. Offseason acquisitions in Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr. have seemed to pay off too, as both have thrived in their new roles. Their recent 8-game win streak is the longest since 2008, and with a little luck, the Pistons may actually host a playoff series this year. Oh, and they're doing all of this without their second best player in Jaden Ivey. As each day passes, it seems we're approaching the end of the Big Three in Phoenix. The trio of Durant, Beal, and Booker combine to make $150.6 million this year. Yet, this team might not even make the playoffs. To make matters worse, Phoenix nearly sent KD to Golden State in what would have been a blockbuster trade. While it didn't fall through, word got out and Durant felt slighted as a result. Reporter Brian Windhorst has stated that he believes KD and the Suns will be parting ways this summer, and Durant only seemed to affirm this. When discussing retirement on Draymond Green's podcast, Durant indicated that he didn't care where he retired, just as long as it was on his terms. Despite all of this, Kevin has made it clear that he's committed to his teammates and coaches. Right now, the Suns are looking at a play-in spot from the outside. Unless a miracle happens, I don't see this team going very far in the playoffs. That is, if they even make it. It's insane to think about, but 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic just might be playing the best basketball of his career. He is averaging a ridiculous 29-point triple-double on 55-40-80 splits and is leading the Nuggets towards the top of the standings. Just the other night in a matchup versus the Pacers, he recorded the second most assists in a game ever by a center. Jokic is currently on pace for the most efficient season in NBA history with a player efficiency rating of 33.08. If he were to achieve this, he would surpass the previous benchmark of 32.85 that he set back in 2022. But then there's also Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is leading the league in scoring at 32 points per game. His 3 games of 50 or more points leads the NBA, and he's only failed to reach the 20-point threshold once this season. While SGA shines offensively, his impact on the defensive side is incredibly underrated. Among those who have played in at least 40 games this year, Shai ranks second in terms of steals per game and fifth among guards and blocks. Additionally, his OKC Thunder have by far the best record in the West and lead the league with roughly a plus 12-point differential. In one of the closest MVP races we've ever seen, these next few weeks can make or break the case for each candidate. Add in 2 matchups between the respected teams, and we should see who will emerge as this season's MVP. Now it's your turn. You guys tell me. What storylines are you guys looking forward to as the NBA season wraps up? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for similar content. Until next time, peace.